We got to talk about, guys, Notre Dame. All right. So, I picked South Florida. All right. So I'm going to go ahead again. No shame in this show. No shame. I'm going to go ahead and say that I picked South Florida, keep it close. I had hopes that Ray McLeod's brother and Jeff Scott could do something. And needless to say, I fell flat on my face. So Notre Dame was said that by some of the experts that they would be bouncing back, and sure enough, they did. Looks like they found a couple of more running backs to help them out. I still don't think they have a passing game because get this, guys, 52 points scored. Okay, I've got no receiving touchdowns for that team. All right, so that's kind of shocking to me. What are your thoughts on that Notre Dame game?
Well, I will yield to the experts on this one. I did not actually see the game. I saw the final score. I'm pretty sure Houston and I went with Notre Dame in this one. I can't exactly remember. I went with Notre Dame. I'm pretty solid, but that was it was a tough one. South Florida just got a long way to go. We love Coach Jeff Scott and we hope he can get that turned around. It's just not happening yet. And Notre Dame, a nice bounce back. They looked a lot better this week. Obviously, I get the opponent's not quite what it was, but they struggled for a little while with Duke in the first one, and I think they looked a lot more like people were thinking Notre Dame was going to look this year. So we'll see how they look moving forward. We don't ever want to give Notre Dame too much credit.
No, you don't.
Yeah, no, I agree. I did take Notre Dame. One of the few picks that I got right this week. It was a bad week. I'll get into that more later. But Notre Dame looked good. I think Morgan does have a point. Their run game for Notre Dame is absolutely great. They are deep. They've got a stable of backs that are very talented. They've got an offensive line that's amazing, but still a little bit to be desired for their passing game. So we'll see. They dominated an inferior opponent. We'll see how they do going forward.
Yeah, still got a long way to go for sure. And then they got to face the Clemson Tigers as well. Going to be a good one for sure. I really don't understand their social distancing, though. They're allowing their entire student body and professors to all go to the games and sit. Basically, it looks like, in my opinion, sit wherever they want. Stark contrast from Clemson, where it's like you got to sit in those two seats. Now, I told the guys earlier that I was going to be a little bit upset because, I'll tell you this. It was the Citadel. I'll give you guys a break. But to me, if you buy a ticket, if you don't opt out, if you don't redshirt, and then you have paid enough money to have 4 Clemson Tiger put in seat backs on the first or second row behind the sideline, and you don't come to the game, I don't get that. That shocks me. Now, I can get it if you're way up in the top because I did see the big picture, a photo of the big stadium, the stadium as a whole. There were a lot of empty seats, unfortunately. It kind of made me sad. Obviously, I can only say so much because I like watching it from home. But I will say, if you go through the trouble of getting to where you're at, to pay for the tickets, and then pay for 4 tickets, and then I don't know. And then have great tickets. I don't know. I don't get it. It's to me. I feel like you should probably go to the game and check them out because, there's a lot of cool things to watch, especially a lot of good freshmen out there too. But I digress. Let's go to some more games. Oklahoma State. This is one that really, really shocked me because, I'm like, well, Tulsa has a chance to win this game in the fourth quarter. I mean, they actually were about to tie it, I think, late in the fourth quarter or, mid-fourth, I believe. So Oklahoma State loses Spencer Sanders. I know that Allen's been really behind Spencer Sanders there. So is Houston. And Oklahoma State was supposed to be fighting for that top spot against Oklahoma. Tulsa had a chance, like I said, missed a chip shot field goal from a true freshman kicker. And I just felt for that kid because, that was, I'm telling you what, man, some people's grandparents could have kicked that one, my guys. So that was like really close. And he just completely shanked it. So a little bit confused there. But again, Oklahoma State, they come out and they lose their quarterback within the second series. So that's I'm going to give them that. Okay, I'll give them some slack there. Ethan Bullock, though, not impressed. When he got out there and kind of went 3 and out and it kind of looked real slow, I said, got to get this guy out of here. Thankfully, they had a true freshman, Shane Illingworth, And he just didn't care. I mean, he started throwing the ball anywhere he could find somebody with just a little bit of space, and it worked out for him, thankfully. Chuba Hubbard, this big-time guy, is supposed to be one of the best running backs in the nation, really kind of a no-show. They locked him down. So, Al, I know you were kind of busy this weekend, but I'll start with Houston. Houston, what's your thoughts?
So, yeah, I watched that entire game, or at least from when I got the notification that Spencer Sanders went out. And I was not impressed with them. It's been a struggle for Oklahoma State. I should have known this because they seem to struggle early on, kind of like how I said with Iowa State. They have their first or second game struggles. Chuba Hubbard did not show up. Over 20 carries, just a little bit over 90 yards, I believe. Whereas Travis Etienne was in limited time, 8 carries, 68 yards. You look at those yards per carry, Chuba Hubbard's got to do better than that if he's going to be even close to being in a Heisman running. And then they started to finally figure out that they could just throw the ball at the Tylan Wallace, and that's why they ended up winning. If they don't figure that out and just don't let Tylan Wallace be Tylan Wallace, Oklahoma State loses that game.
Yeah, like you said, I had a lot going on this weekend, so I didn't get to see a lot of these games. I do want to mention, by the way, when you were talking about your rant of empty seats, if there are people that have tickets that are not intending to go to the game, I will take those tickets because I want to be in Death Valley for every game. So please, Facebook Alan Adams and let him know you have tickets available because I would be happy to take them off your hands and fill those seats. But yeah, close call for Oklahoma State. We talked them up in the preseason kind of, and I don't know if I picked them to win that division, if we even went over those divisions, but I think we had them at the top. We thought they were going to be good. Chuba Hubbard, of course, is the big kind of name, and obviously he was held to next to nothing really for Chuba Hubbard, anyways. So that's kind of tough. They're going to have to get something going. And do we know about the quarterback? Is he going to be back? Is he gone? What do we know?
So high ankle sprain is what we got, and that's about all we know. I tried to look it up online. I didn't see any definitives out there, but again, it goes back to what Houston said. You really, even without him, you should be able to lean on Chuba Hubbard. Well, they leaned on him with 27 carries, but got 93 yards, which is ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, you got to take 30 carries to get to 100 yards from one of the best running backs in the nation against Tulsa. Right. Doesn't make any sense to me. Hopefully they bounce back. I believe they got to play West Virginia this weekend. So two that might be interesting to see there for sure. Let's go over to the ACC real quick. This is another one I had down. And again, it was one that we all agreed upon, and we all actually successfully picked this one. UCF goes to Georgia Tech and actually wins the game. And it was close for a little bit. It got to, I believe, early in the fourth quarter where it was within 7 points. But Georgia Tech's defense is really not there to stop any kind of passing game right now, especially a Dylan Gabriel type passing game. I mean, they just really, they don't really, to me, don't have the best at winning the line of scrimmage either. So there's still a lot of room to improve. But Jeff Sims almost threw for another 300 yards again. I feel like Jeff Sims is definitely that guy that Florida State would love to have because he's definitely a quarterback that you can build around. He seems like he's a good guy. Seems like he kind of understands how the offense works. He seems like he understands how to like make big plays either by moving out of the pocket or whatever it may be. I really like what I see with him. And if you're a FSU fan, we just got to rub it in some more because I mean you're sitting here stuck with Blackman again, and can't win these games, and then Georgia Tech's now starting to pass you up and looked pretty good against UCF. I was kind of sweating a little bit because UCF seemed to, struggle at the beginning, kind of going back and forth, and then late game took it over. Do I think that Georgia Tech is the real deal? No, I don't think Georgia Tech's the real deal. Do I think they can hang with Clemson? No, but they are having the building blocks. Now, if you start seeing Jeff Collins landing some big-time defensive ends, maybe a sprinkle in an offensive lineman here or there, then I'm going to be a little bit scared. Not scared, but then I'm going to be a little bit on notice for Georgia Tech. Might take a little while. I hope that he can build some people around Jeff Sims before it's too late.
We're going to Houston next, right? It's you, Houston, me
Houston,
this time,
go
right?
ahead, Houston.
Yeah, so for the UCF Georgia Tech game, I agree that Georgia Tech's a good young team, kind of like the Braves from a couple years ago, where they're kind of building those building blocks. and they're getting better. You've got a talented young freshman quarterback, talented duo of running backs, despite not having your leading rusher. But I'm impressed by UCF, and I don't like UCF personally. I don't like the whole 2017 national title nonsense. But I'll say this. They could be the first team from the non-Power 5 to make the playoff this year. They are that talented. They're that good. And they're in a conference that is doing just well enough to where they could actually make that jump. If they blow out a Cincinnati or a Memphis or a Houston, they could have some say to get in there, especially if, somebody from the Big 12 falters. If you've got an undefeated UCF versus a one-loss Oklahoma team that lost to a bad team, you might have a case.
Yeah, I'm really going to be interested to see where this UCF team goes from here. I mean, when I was watching it, obviously, we all hammered UCF, said they were just going to absolutely destroy Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech comes out and almost runs the opening kickback, and they score within, just a few seconds. It was unbelievable. And I was like, hey, you know what? It's not time to hit the panic button yet. So we saw how fast the UCF offense was running. They were really, really up tempo. For sure. They were lightning fast out there. I was like, you know what? It doesn't really matter if Georgia Tech scores a little bit here and there. UCF's going to wear them down eventually, and they're going to pull away at the end, and that's exactly what happened. In the end, it wasn't close. But Georgia Tech, I was impressed. They were able to hang in there for a while, a lot longer than I thought they would, for sure. But, UCF pulled away at the end. I did watch that game, and it was a good one for sure, especially there for a while. Georgia Tech has some pieces, like you said, but I still think they're a ways away, and it's certainly not going to threaten Clemson, I wouldn't think, anytime soon.
Yeah, I go back to that Tulsa game too. Actually, Alan and I picked Tulsa, so Houston. Right. Sorry for you there, but we did all pick UCF at Georgia Tech. We picked UCF to cover, and so we were successful there. Another one of our all chips in game. We hammered home Miami, Louisville. Ugh. We hammered Louisville. We'll get to that one too. I don't want to say anything about App State, but App State, Marshall may be better than we think under this freshman quarterback. Maybe there's something to Grant Wells there. But another team that we knew was kind of improving, I guess you could say, is Boston College. Now, I actually didn't watch this game, but I know I wanted to mention it because Walt Deptula kept getting on to me about this is his dark horse pick for the ACC. Boston College and Phil Jurkovich, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. Zay Flowers, 162 yards. So they have that running back they feel like is kind of a clone of A.J. Dillon, and then they now have a quarterback that's a transfer that put up 300 yards in his first game and just kind of trounced over Dukes there. So looks like that Boston College has put the ACC on notice that maybe they're not going to be as rebuilding as much as we thought. And we know that they have a lot of defensive-minded coaches out there, so I expect them to continue to be solid on defense as well. But let's skip that. And let's go straight into kind of the game of the night, the one that kind of shocked me, even though this was Allen's preseason pick for winning the Coastal, but back when there was a Coastal, if you guys can remember back in the day. But Miami comes out and beats Louisville. And here's an interesting stat for you that I shared with Walt as well. Total yards. Who won the total yards? What would you think, Al? Who do you think won the total yards?
I thought Louisville won the total yards.
Louisville won the total yards. Who won time of possession by 16 or 16 minutes almost?
Had to have been Louisville because Georgia Tech, Miami scored Miami scored in a play like twice in the second half.
So Louisville again. Who had more first downs?
Yeah, it's easy. It had to be Louisville. So 2 75-yard plays in the second half for Miami.
So Louisville, 29. Louisville had 29 first downs to 19, 516 yards to 485, and 38 minutes to just a little bit over or right almost a little bit under 22 minutes. So when you look at those three stats, you're like, well, of course Louisville won, right? Of course. Then you look at the turnovers. 3 turnovers to none for Miami. The turnover chain was happening. They got a new one now. It looks like the state of Florida. Looks pretty nice. I got to hand it to them. They actually have to wash it and clean it and make sure that they disinfect it after every person wears it. And they can only wear it for like a certain amount of time. They're not allowed because if you wear some jewelry longer than like 2 minutes, then it gets COVID and then you can't get it off. That's how it works. But right. As long as you have the Lysol wipes, you're all good, right? So they get the Lysol wipes out, wipe it down. They had to transfer it to 3 people, and then they lock it up in a chest. It's very, very sophisticated system, guys. I wouldn't expect you to understand, but really cool, really cool. So what's your thoughts on now, Al, you got to tell me, did you watch this game? I mean, what'd you do? Just sleep the whole weekend?
Unfortunately, yes. I did watch this game. I did watch this game. It was a fun game to watch. I was disappointed the whole time because, again, I'm the guy. I'm the idiot that everybody was laughing at when I picked Miami to win the Coastal. Okay, I thought they had a chance. I thought De'Aaron King was going to be able to hide some of the offensive line issues. I thought they had an incredible defensive line. And I'm the one telling you, hey, I'm going to go with a surprise pick. You laughed at me. The audience was laughing at me. They were commenting at me, in the text box over here. It's like, come on, give me a break. And sure enough, Miami comes out and plays like the team I thought they would be. It's funny because I picked Louisville in this game and was very confident that Louisville was going to cover this spread because I didn't like what I saw from Miami week 1. And Houston and I talked about that a little bit last week. I did not like what I saw from Rhett Lashley. I thought De'Aaron King looked a little bit slower. But in hindsight, it appears Miami was holding a little bit back in that first week, or maybe they just needed to get the first week jitters out. I'm not really sure, but they played like the Miami team I expected to see this season. I was not prepared for it, and Louisville obviously wasn't prepared for it. But it was an interesting game. I thought Louisville came out in the second half, did exactly what they needed to do, go right down the field, scored a touchdown, brought it within a score, and then boom, next play, 75 yards to the house. Just completely undisciplined defense by Louisville Cardinals all night long. And it was rough to watch from that perspective. But yeah, I was very proud of the Miami team that I thought we were going to see this season. And I like to be able to point back to that sound clip if you've got it anywhere you can dig it up.
Yeah. I'll say this. The 2 picks that killed me this week were the ones that we all agreed on. App State and Louisville. I will make sure I'll try to branch out from now on because that killed me this week. Miami did look impressive, and I won't take anything away from them. I think they ran the ball with ease on Louisville. De'Aaron King looked good. Their running backs, their freshman running backs, Jalen Knighton and Cameron Harris, they both looked really, really good. However, I can't remember if it was Walt or somebody on Twitter saying, is this Miami looking extremely good or Louisville not looking as good as we thought? Louisville has playmakers on their team. They've got some very talented receivers, talented running backs, a very talented quarterback when he wants to be. Mikael Cunningham had some issues the other night with the turnover, but they don't have what they need on the lines of scrimmage. Their offensive line struggled mightily. Their defensive line struggled. And then on top of that, their entire defense struggled with coverage. I mean, you have 2 plays for 150 yards in a matter of 30 seconds. It took the wind out of the sails of that team. It was a gut punch at the end of the game. So Miami does look good. I think Miami's going to roll over Florida State going into being a potential top 10 matchup with us, but I'm not ready to just crown Miami as being back like everybody wants to right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of the experts thought that Louisville was going to win this game, even though I believe last year they lost this game too. So this is like 2 years in a row that they can't beat Miami. But, it was really shocking. You see Malik Cunningham out there or Mikael Cunningham. He went by Malik last night. I don't know, or Saturday night. I don't know. But you see him out there, and on third down, looks like Deshaun Watson. And the Texans out there running for his life, trying to figure out what he's going to do. It's really kind of sad. Unfortunately, he's not getting paid like Deshaun Watson. At least Deshaun's, walking to the bank and can cash out some money there. But Cunningham is definitely struggling on third down, doesn't really know what to do, seems to be running around and chicken with his head cut off kind of thing. And that Miami defense, you could just hear them because there's not as many fans. You could just hear them like going crazy. I mean, it was almost like they were just laughing at him because they were like, okay, third down, we know we're going to get him this time because he's gonna fold, he's gonna turn around. There was one time where it looked like he just basically turned around and fell down. I mean, he just kind of like was like, okay, I'm about to get sacked again. I'm not even going to fight for it anymore. Now that's one thing Deshaun Watson won't do. He's going to fight for it, and he definitely can escape things and do some Houdini stuff out there. But again, like you guys said, the defense was bad last year and gave up 400 yards a game last year. So not super surprised about that. But, and if you take away the 3 turnovers, I mean, who knows? I mean, it could have been a lot closer. But, does this mean that Miami has arrived and is more lethal than Louisville? It's still early. Houston's over here shaking his head. No, it's still early, but they've got 2 tight ends that are legit that I like. I like a lot. They've got a running back that I like a lot. They've got a quarterback that has now found the passing game and was already a good runner. It's they've got weapons that you have to plan for. Now, do they have as many weapons as maybe a Clemson? Maybe not. But they definitely have a solid defense. We know that the Manny Diaz, defense is going to be there. But it's interesting to see. I'm looking forward to it. They got a game coming up against Florida State. Got some people saying that is this a trap game for Miami? And we'll talk about that when we get into segment number 3 in our picks against the spread. I think that was it. Let me tell you the final results for us last week. Let me pull them up. Houston, just cover your ears. So you really overall, Houston, not bad. But right now I'm 9-8 against the spread. Allen's 10-7 against the spread, and Houston is 8-9 against the spread. Hey, not bad there, not bad. But I just got a notification. Jalen Peeler subscribed to the YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Jalen. Appreciate that. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. We're on the road to 1,000. And we're so close. I think that puts us at 79 left. So 79 to go. Like I said, I know everybody has about 4 or 5 Gmail accounts. Go log into each one and subscribe for us. We really appreciate it. But that's the end of segment number 1. Let us know what your thinks are. We're going to go through the chat real quick. Al, you got anything lighting up on chat before we get to the Clemson game?
Well, I wanted to get to that. No, I don't. I have 0. I have 0 comments over here, and we've had like 20 viewers the whole show. So I don't know if nobody's commenting or if I just can't see the comments.
I see some.
Okay, I was about to say, if y'all are seeing comments, great. I wanted to apologize to everybody. I'm not ignoring your comments. It's not that. I literally see nothing. I even asked somebody to get in the chat so I could check to see if it's working, and I got nothing. So I'm guessing I just can't see it.
You can't see it because people are responding back to you saying, "I'm here. Check it out. I'm here."
I'm here.
So what they recommend, Al, if you don't mind, let's take a second here. What we recommend is that you tried restarting. Okay, let's unplug. Let's unplug and plug back in. And let's try it again. But I'm looking over here, and got some people saying that they are. So Bill comes in. He said he was at Death Valley. He said that he loved it and he thought it was a surreal experience. Bill, I want to know, and anybody who was there, I want to know what your thoughts were on the crowd noise. Mark Childers sent me kind of a video of the teaser of the crowd noise. I thought it was really well done. I felt like that it added to the atmosphere. It wasn't overbearing or anything. So I really thought it was good. Did you guys notice it?
Houston, get in there. I'm responding on Facebook.
I didn't really. I mean, I guess it sounded okay. I've got mixed reactions off of what I saw on social media. Some people thought it was really well done. Other people were relatively annoyed by it. Some people were just weirded out by it. I thought it sounded okay for what was there. Going back to your seat, $2 rant there was, I didn't really notice as many. And like I said, I'm like, Al, if you have any extra tickets, hook me up. I'm looking for some for Miami or Virginia or whoever is available. But I think it was well for the first time. And I actually liked the band being on the hill.
Good thoughts as well. Yeah, I didn't notice a ton of empty seats like Morgan was talking about, except for, the empty seats that had to be empty. So, yeah, I did notice a ton of empty seats, but not empty seats from people that were actually going to have, possible seats there. There were some in the upper deck, but I didn't think there was a bunch of them. But let's see. Hold on. Bill Lanham gets in from Four Paws and says the piped in crowd noise didn't really sound very loud, except when those of us there were yelling too. So I don't know about the piped in crowd noise. Yeah, I didn't really notice much there on the TV. I didn't really think it sounded bad from our end. Of course, we're not in there getting the live experience. But again, we'd be happy to get the live experience if somebody has any tickets available. So just going to plug that in one more time. Hopefully we can, get some fish to bite there.
I think Bill can pull some strings over there in chat and get us a couple more. And chat's also saying the band on the hill, they thought that was well done. I thought it was really cool too. After a touchdown, you get to see the band playing as they kick the field goal. Pretty cool. I mean, not the same as having students for sure, but still pretty cool adjustment there. I like that.